I'm Marty Switzer. With me today is Marcus Burns from Spheria.
Welcome, Marcus.
Thanks, Marty.
So markets have run hard over the past 2 weeks. What's your view on what's happening right now?
Yeah, thanks, Marty. We think the market has run possibly too far. So there's been a lot of signs of speculative influence going on in the marketplace. Cash flow seems to be being deployed in areas where there maybe is no fundamental reason for the shares to be going up. So we're kind of urging investors to be slightly cautious right now.
Are you seeing it as a buying opportunity?
Not necessarily, no. We think there's always opportunities to buy stocks in the market, but you want to base them on fundamentals,
yep.
not on momentum or where based on share price movements.
So let's talk about the fund that you run at Spheria and the investment strategy behind that fund.
Sure. So we run two funds at Spheria, a micro cap fund and a small cap fund. Both of them run along very similar lines. So we have a very fundamental approach. Our team looks for businesses that make good cash flows, consistently good cash flows. They have good balance sheets and have attractive valuations, and we deploy that kind of thinking through all our process and all our products. Okay.
Now you're launching a new listed investment company. Talk to us about the investment objectives and the strategy you'll be deploying as part of that facility.
Okay. So the Spheria LIC is designed to emulate the Spheria Smaller Companies Fund. It's designed to beat the Small Ordinaries Index over time.
So it's a small cap fund?
It's a small cap fund. So that includes companies from really the X100, so from roughly $3 or $4 billion down. And it's designed to provide investors with good capital growth and good income through time, through a cycle.
Mm. And what was the rationale behind launching a listed investment company? What was the appeal?
So we had a number of clients approaching us with demand for an LIC. It gives clients a new way of accessing our funds rather than through a platform they can access directly through an LIC. Some clients prefer that form of investment vehicle. It gives them, it takes out the platforms, for example.
It's listed.
It's listed, so it's liquid. And it saves a lot of admin sometimes, by buying a security as opposed to filling in forms and coming into one of our trusts.
Mm. So what are some of the types of companies that you'll be investing in as part of this structure, and maybe talk us through one of the investments that you like at the moment?
Sure. So the companies we buy are, people often ask, are we biased to a sector or a particular theme? And the answer to that is no. We're based on
bottom up.
Bottom up, exactly. So we're looking for companies that generate good cash flows, sustainably good cash flows through a business cycle. We're looking for businesses that aren't particularly highly geared. So a lot of investors tend to look for companies that are making acquisitions and getting EPS accretion. We find that by gearing up businesses, you're actually adding risk. So we look for companies that have low gearing. And then we're very disciplined around building models and doing our work on companies to make sure that we're buying attractively valued stocks that enter the portfolios.
And how many stocks will you hold in this portfolio?
So the portfolios will have anywhere between 35 and 45 stocks typically. They can go higher than that,
yep.
But 35 to 45 is the range. So
yep.
It's a good spread through a variety of sectors and stocks.
And what's unique about the strategy that you'll be using in this listed investment company compared to other strategies in market?
So we think the point of differentiation really is the fact that we go back to basics. We're very focused on controlling risks and trying to find interesting opportunities subject to a lot of risk control. The team digs deep into companies. We have proprietary Excel databases, Excel spreadsheets which download data, and we build models on everything we buy in their funds. Mm. And we're looking for companies that have certain traits. So they're good cash flow generators, balance sheets are really attractive, and usually with very good management teams and attractive valuations. So we're not into chasing hot topics or hot themes or momentum kind of stocks. We're looking for fundamental stocks that fit basic criteria for a sound investment. Okay,
well, talk us through one of those stocks that fits that criteria.
So one of the stocks we bought fairly recently is a company called Vita Group.
Yep.
It runs T-Life stores for Telstra. So they run roughly 100 of the 300 stores.
What's the code?
VTG.
VTG.
It runs 100 of the 300 store network that Telstra has for retail access to its products. It's based in Queensland, and what's appealing about the company is it went through a tough time. So the stock hit a high of about $5 just over a year ago, and then Telstra has come back and renegotiated some of the terms of the contract, and so the stock fell fairly aggressively. We went back into the work around industry structure, looking at the history of the company, and thought it got very, very cheap. So it had a good balance sheet, generated good cash flow, and was trading at a very attractive valuation. And we thought that was a good entry point for our funds.
What was the market cap? Or what is the market cap?
Its market cap now is around 250 million. Okay. At the time we bought it, it's probably low 100s.
Yeah.
So we've made very good money for clients, almost doubling money in the last 6 months on that.
And in this strategy, what does the universe look like in terms of market cap? So what's the sort of the bottom of the range and the top of the range?
So the Spheria LIC will invest, as I said, in the small companies space.
Yep.
The average market capitalisation is around about $1 billion.
Okay.
and it ranges from say $3 billion down to maybe $400 million is the bottom end of that range.
Okay,
fairly
so
liquid.
200 to $3 billion.
That's a good, that's about right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And listed investment companies, I guess, are a unique sort of investment compared to, say, the open-ended strategy that you're running at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that investors need to be aware of when investing in a LIC?
So, there are quite a few LICs on the stock market now, as you probably know.
Yep.
We think there's a good opportunity to create one in the small cap space. There are a few fairly small ones that trade down the micro cap area. There are quite a few in the large cap area. There aren't many of good size in the small cap space. We want to be probably one of the larger LICs in that space. And we'll provide a lot of support around that LIC, so it won't just be listed and then kind of forgotten about. We're going to generate good reports to clients. We do webinars. So I think it's a good way of accessing a disciplined team around investing in smalls, and it should be a reasonable size to create enough liquidity for investors to either buy into or exit that LIC over time.
How much are you looking to raise?
So looking to raise between 100 million and 250 million.
Yep.
250 million is the max.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when does the offer open and when does it close?
The offer opens on the 25th of October and closes on the 24th of November.
Marcus Burns, thanks for your time.
Thank you.